Hello, welcome to this episode of the FANMEN podcast. I'm DJ Gove.
Chris Davis.
Sean Hogarty.
How's everyone's week?
It's been an exhausting week.
Yeah.
Tiring. Too many airplanes, too many hotel rooms, too many late nights.
Too many early meetings.
Yeah.
Too many late meetings.
Yeah, see, I don't have to travel like you guys do, but my company, we work for a healthcare system. We just opened a new building this week, so it was hell on earth. So,
Like a new building for your operations?
no, full new hospital building.
Really?
Whereabouts?
In over near the Green Dome Mall in Ponza Street.
Okay.
Huge,
That's cool.
4 floors, every specialty you can think of, like 1,000 users.
So all new equipment,
everything.
wiring. I mean, it's literally a new facility.
Yep, 4 new data
That
closets.
must be fantastic.
80-something access points, 36 switches,
So
800 computers,
fiber
phones.
to fiber to fiber. I mean, yeah. Yeah, nobody cares about that. except
Tech stuff.
nerds.
So, but it was, and then we had to support it for Go Live, which is a lot of work. So people trying to get used to new equipment, new workflow. So it was exhausting. But yeah, so anyone pick up anything good this week?
I did. I haven't read it yet, but I picked up a copy of Batman Damned, which is
Oh yes, I can.
getting a little heat. I don't know if it'll. Yeah, it's apparently
yes.
the first appearance of Bat Johnson.
Yes.
The Batwang. I haven't read it, haven't looked at it, so I actually don't know. But I believe the issue's sold out and is
Into a
I mean, it's
second
an
printing
expensive-
already.
Yeah, it's a $7 or $8 cover price book.
I think it's
Yeah.
$7, oversized format.
Yeah, which I'm not a big fan.
It's not
of
a treasury
oversized
edition.
stuff.
It's not a...
It's a magazine size,
yeah.
prestige bound. Yeah, but I am looking forward to looking. It's the first issue on the DC Black Label sub imprint or whatever, which is, I don't know. It's supposed to be, a little harder edged.
It is. They released Sean Gordon Murphy's White Knight first issue again under the Black Label this week as well.
Really? So I never read that. I have the whole run, but I haven't read
An
it.
amazing story.
Yep. It's some kind of, it's like Mirror Universe type stuff. Or
They flipped it on its head.
Okay,
What if
yeah.
Napier's the...
Napier's
Good
the good
guy.
guy. Yeah.
So, but they're going to be showing the uncensored version of that series as well.
Interesting. So I didn't get that. So somebody should have put it in my box I'll have to check that out.
Jake taken out.
I don't know. It's, the less they put in my box, the less I spend. But so that's the main thing, DJ, was Batman Damned #1.
Cool.
I'll be interested to read.
Chris, we getting goodies this week?
Yeah, nothing special. That's probably the big one for me as well. It's been more normal course this week. I think the traveling took a lot of the
Yeah.
shopping time out of it. So
Yeah. For me, a little bit of carryover from last week, it was kind of in between the 2 weeks, is I finally got my hands on the, because on top of everything else I'm into, I'm a mouse head. I'm a huge Disney nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to get my hands on these Splash Mountain Disney Parks exclusive Funko Pop. I got 2 of them.
So that's the one that's like large, like a diorama type thing.
Yeah, it's like a rides pop. So it's the log ride with Brer Bear and Brer Rabbit in it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then the Haunted Mansion one's coming out
That's
tomorrow.
next week? Oh, is it this
tomorrow.
week?
So what's that one?
It's a doom buggy with a glow-in-the-dark ghost, hitchhiking ghost inside it.
Okay.
So I got one of the guys known for it. He's like, I'm going to go get one. He's going to get me one. So
No 10-inch Mickey from Target yet?
nope.
Those haven't appeared?
Street date 10/5. Along with everything else. Target
Come on,
has
Sean's just slow.
Yeah,
has
lose
like
that.
7 pops. And the other thing I got was because I brought them up when we were doing episode 1. I just started flipping around. I was able to score on eBay first appearance of Etrigan the Demon. I got Demon 1 through 4.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, for like 60,
That's a great pull. I love that cover.
like
one.
$16 for all 4 books shipped. So I don't know. I mean, they're on their way. I don't
I've
think they're
read
like
that.
9s or nothing, but still. It's,
Yeah. I don't think I've read that. I know I can see the covers in my
he's a
head.
sneaky cool character. He's really cool. Like, I'm really hoping when they start doing, if Swamp Thing gets big on the app, maybe he's the next one to go, and then they start doing, like we talked about, the Dark Justice League stuff or something. But
So I am actually going to jump back in because something arrived last Saturday. So
Okay.
it still counts
Yeah,
since
it counts.
last episode. I was able to get my hands on a copy of the first Superman Flash race.
Oh, you got one finally?
I finally got one. So Superman 199.
So are we complete now?
We are complete.
Ooh,
in terms
got
of
all
every
3.
Flash race.
the races.
The first, I think there was only 3 on the covers. So now I'm complete on those 3. Cool story and a little tip. You might already know this. There's a few sellers that you can find out on eBay that are selling from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And people tend to avoid these guys because the exchange rate, the number looks higher.
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking about the fact that the exchange rate goes the other way.
Yeah.
So you can end up jumping in there and sniping copies of this. So it cost a little bit, ended up spending about 150 US.
Mm-hmm.
But first pass, when I brought it over, they think it's probably like an 8.5,
Okay.
which is going to be, no, it's in really, really good condition. It's a black cover, so it's tough. Very few spine ticks,
So
no color breaks.
are you going to grade it?
So Manoly's taking a look at it now.
All right.
So chances are that one will end up going in. The other 2 are more reader copy mid grades. I don't see any reason to send those 2 in, but
And they announced the New York Comic Con race Funko Pops too.
they
do-
did.
they
They
do-
will have
They're doing pops for the race. It's the movie one, but it's
the cutscene at the end of Justice
with
League.
the Flash.
well,
Superman.
well, I still
Don't make me
haven't.
go
I
over the
still
table
haven't
again.
seen Justice League, gentlemen. So
At the end, they do an homage to the race.
You know, just a little aside. This is the kind of shit that gets people voted off the island.
hey, man, somebody's got to be the worst fan on the island, and it's
That's
clearly
true.
me,
That's true.
right? I spend less money than you crazy people, and I'm less crazy than you crazy people.
That's true.
I'm the everyman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all. Yeah. So Chris,
relatively.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. It's
So Chris got his big book finally. I picked up a pop that I wanted. My daughter wanted real bad because we have a large Disney shelf of stuff, so that can go on it.
what did I buy other than I bought Batman Damned, but I mean that's not. Yeah.
But that could one day be a big thing because, like I said, I couldn't get one.
Yep.
I forgot to call and have it put in my box. I couldn't get one.
I did.
They've already shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken it out of the digital. I mean, so you go with an adults only label and then you start editing yourself on issue 1 when it's been out a day.
Because they got
part of their
huge
plan.
kickback for
God
the
forbid
giant
penis make any appearance anywhere in any art.
You have to see Batman's can of shark repellent, and people didn't
Batman's can of shark repellent.
people didn't take too kindly to it.
That reminds me.
So yeah. So speaking of Batman, anyone get to play with the DCU app that launched this week?
So I did log in. I saw the notification that it went live. I was what was it, episode 2, where you guys convinced me to
Yeah.
sign up mid-episode for it. And I logged in, was excited about having all this stuff at my fingertips conceptually. And the fact is, I've been busy, but I have not looked at the app again since. And I don't know what I've missed up to this point.
It's pretty much the same as day one. So
But I don't know was their day. I mean, I didn't actually. So this was the reason I hadn't originally signed up and don't generally do this sorts of stuff is I don't consume content in those ways. I'm sure I will, though it's worth checking in on me in the coming 15 months to see if and when it actually happens and in what fashion.
Yeah, no, I was wondering if everyone got a peek at it. One thing I noticed that actually might be good for you is I noticed that with the comics, you have to download the issues, so you might be able to take those offline when you're on planes and stuff like that.
That's
you
actually
can download them to your iPad. You can
So that's a pretty big plus. Now, what I thought I saw some mention in there about to get everything you had to actually pay.
If you want to tie your subscriptions and stuff into it, you can. The current stuff.
You can subscribe to the digitals and access them through the app.
Okay, so where's the line of what's in there?
So like if you wanted Batman Damned digitally, you have to pay for it.
Right, but what if I want the new 52?
I think the new 52, so you can't get Rebirth stuff right now yet. Right now, the stuff I've read, it's all like the 80s and 90s stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's some.
There is new, because I was looking through the Green Lantern stuff. The Green Lantern,
Aquaman.
52s, yeah, the 52 stuff's in there.
I know I saw at least Batman issue 1.
Yeah, you're not going to go in there and find weird stuff, probably like Booster Gold, new 52, but.
One that of particular interest to this group, Quiver, is out there.
Yep, that's a good book, man. I love that book.
That popped up.
That's the Kevin.
That's the
Smith.
Kevin
He
Green
did
Arrow.
Yeah.
12 of that. The first 12 issues of that volume is Quiver.
He did. Kevin and Phil Hester.
Yeah,
did
Phil
all
Yeah,
Hester.
so I have the hardback of that. I have the issues.
Yeah, I have the issue.
Definitely read it, but not for years.
Good book, man. Real good book.
Is that where he came back from the dead? It's been a
because Spectre's
long,
part of
long
it.
time. Yeah, but yeah, definitely a good run.
He's done 2 Green Arrow runs at this point.
Both good. Yeah, I started ripping through. I read Quiver again because it was there. I also started ripping through the George Perez Teen Titans run.
I started with the Titans right off the bat.
And I had never, obviously because the price and cost, I was never able to get like the early 60s Green Lantern stuff. So I started tearing through that too.
So what do you think? Were you looking at it on your iPad, tablet, phone, or were you watching it on the TV? Or reading it on the TV, I should say.
So most of my stuff, because I don't think my boss was this, so most stuff's on my work computer or my phone.
Okay, so you're still looking at it on a big screen. How did you like the comic reading experience on a monitor?
I liked it. So I noticed, I was flipping through, I started with Green Lantern because he's a big one for me. So I noticed that with the older stuff, some of the panels are a little smaller. When you get
did you have issues with your aspect where you might get a little piece of it cut off, or I had to play with that a little bit?
Yeah, there was a little bit of like the editor's note boxes.
Yeah, I noticed it on the Titans.
Yeah, but it was manageable. So, shame they're scanning 35-year-old pieces of paper and
visually it looked beautiful.
It looked gorgeous.
I mean, the copies were unbelievable.
Yeah. It was, you worry about some of those, even like when you got them the day they came out, you couldn't read them because the paper sucked.
The printing was terrible.
Yeah, and the paper sucked. So they look really nice. So actually, Sean's pulling up some books right now.
Yeah, so I inspired me to bring it up here. So I've got a giant iPad Pro, which I love. So I just pulled up a comic, downloaded an issue. I just got excited because I saw that the Legends of the Dark Knight series from number 1, 1989 or whatever is there, and yeah, it's cool. I will actually try to use it. So, are any of the series or things on there yet? I saw animated series. Is it all there yet?
I think it was when I checked the last time. It was the first 2 seasons of the animated series,
and then
Wonder Woman's
on there. Justice League's on there.
Lois and Clark, The Adventures
Teen Titans.
of Superman.
Teen Titans, Young Justice.
Oh, Keaton Batman movies.
Yep.
You have the whole run of Batman movies.
Yep. That was for Batman Day. All the Linda Carter episodes are on
I
there.
don't see Batman. Oh, no, I do see Batman Forever.
They got the old Superman cartoon from like the 40s is on there.
What was interesting to me is you even have recent DC animated movies that were just for sale. The Death of Superman.
We were talking about I don't think Death of Superman's going to be on there because it's brand new.
And they dropped it immediately.
Yep. I was kind of stoked because I somehow, I'm usually real good with the DC animated movies because I love them and also I like steelbooks and Target always has them in steelbooks. I had missed Bad Blood with Batwoman. So I was like, oh shit, I forgot all about this one. So I was able to hit that. That's the only video I've watched on it so far. Said my daughter's ripped through Wonder Woman.
My daughter's worked through the Titans cartoon.
Can you download the videos for offline viewing?
I don't know yet.
That's a good question. I had to try.
That's that's again a big piece of I travel a lot. I watch a lot of video and stuff that I have to go through all the crap of downloading, and obviously you can't always do that in all instances.
I would imagine if for some reason you can't do it at the start, I would imagine it's coming because Netflix and I think Hulu does it too. So it's kind of like the norm now.
I would think so. They'll just put a clock on it where you have
20
from the time you start playing it, like 2 days. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I see watch now. I don't see download. So
yes, I mean it's pretty bare bones right now, but it's a nice start.
I can tell you if you're flying JetBlue, you can stream it.
Yeah,
the internet's good enough to
Fly-Fi. So I mean, like I said, I've got
JetBlue.
Yeah, like I didn't pay $8 for the month, but we're only a week into it. I've already got my $8 worth reading books, so
that's pretty good.
And I saw a movie that I hadn't seen yet. It would have cost me $6 to rent on iTunes, so I'm already.
Right, so
I'm already
you're
in the
ahead.
black.
Yeah.
So far looks pretty good. So
I haven't. Have you seen any glitches? Run into any issues?
I haven't run into anything yet.
Neither
except for the editor's note box.
I mean, that was the one thing, and that was more the aspect on my TV.
Exactly.
But, I mean, in terms of the streaming quality.
Nope.
Any of those issues, I haven't.
It was 1080p out the gate, no problem.
Yeah.
So
is the animated series stuff also the remastered? So Batman.
It is.
It is.
It is your high def remaster.
It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Like I almost I'm gonna go buy a 4K TV just so I can stream it in 4K.
Bounced in just to watch Christmas with the Joker. Right
Is your giant TV a 4K, Chris?
It is not. That was right before everything popped with the 4K.
Yeah. Same with mine. I have a 65-inch, and it's like right before 4K got affordable.
That was probably
I don't have a 4K.
2013. Yeah, somewhere there.
Yeah. In my office, I have two 40-inch. 40 inches on my computer.
Yeah, my monitor's 4K.
Yeah, but I might go swap those at 4Ks because you can get like a 50-inch 4K for like $300 now at Best Buy.
Yeah.
So
the prices have come way down.
I may do that for Christmas.
There you go. Merry Christmas, Sean, from
Merry
Sean.
Christmas for Sean.
So read 40-year-old books in 4K.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on.
Yeah, but so far so good. No big like day one outages or anything crazy like that. So that was good.
No, you haven't heard any blowback
Yep.
on the internet at all. About
No.
it, so.
I mean, you have to.
Have you watched any of the Daily shows?
I have not. I just haven't had time to do
Neither
that.
have I.
I was thinking about that today because I was listening to a podcast that mentioned those, and I'm like, are they really doing a daily show? Because I don't even watch the news daily or anything.
That's my thing too. I don't.
They are, but it's a huge cast. It's
Jesus Christ, there's 45 people.
everybody that was on the preview.
Yeah.
John Barrowman's out there. Harley Quinn Smith.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Tiffany Smith.
So
Yeah.
Plus like 7 other people that I don't know who the hell they are.
So if those things are archived and indexed for search, so I can say, oh, I'm only interested in the ones where Harley was, mentioned or Harley Quinn Smith was on or whatever, and I could pull up clips and immediately index to them, then the fact that I don't get to watch it every day maybe doesn't matter.
One thing that they did that I didn't see coming at all and fucking knocked me for a loop is that they showed a clip on Batman Day from Titans, and the clip is, so Dick Grayson's out doing his Titan stuff. Well, when he's doing his Titan stuff, Jason Todd's rolling with the bat, and him and Jason Todd get into it fucking pretty good. Jason Todd's gonna be in Titans.
What?
Yeah, and he's like Robin on Robin. They both have their Robin gear on. He's like, why? He's basically like, why the fuck are you wearing that? I'm Robin now, dickhead. It's like, so I think you're gonna see, if not in season 1, probably like season finale, season 1. I think Dick's gonna go over to Nightwing.
That's pretty badass.
Pretty fucking awesome, yeah. And I don't know the kid's name who plays Jason Todd, but he has like that. No one will like Jason Todd Robin. No one's
He
gonna
was
like.
a douche.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna like this kid either. So that was like, he's like, oh, we're gonna show you a clip from Titans. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Robin. I was
Does that
like,
mean we're going to get to see Jason Todd Robin killed at some point?
We can hope.
Yeah. Only for the simple fact because that brings on Red Hood, who's a
Right.
freaking awesome
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
the future of that if they
Yeah.
actually could
He
do
said
that.
Jason Todd's an asshole, but he becomes a pretty.
Yeah,
I
He
don't
becomes
know.
a badass.
He's not pivotal. It's not like he's like the center of any kind of crazy story, but he's a large favorite. He's a good draw. So like I said, the future's looking good so far.
Nice.
Now, have you were mainly watching the animated shows?
I watched one movie. I've been mainly reading books right now.
Was there any? There is, and I haven't come across it yet, so this is why I was asking. They do have the tags to the written material at the end of some of these shows.
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, did you like what you see? If you want to read the original material, it'll bring you directly to
Yeah.
the comic.
It brought me to the
To the issue, but you won't have it downloaded, so you have to download it. So it's an issue tag, not a here's the panel or here's the
it's not
page.
it's not like a screen, but it's like, hey, you like that movie? Well, Batwoman's a big part of this movie. Why don't you go read about Cassie Kane
You're
and figure out who she
They'll
is?
tie
All
you-
right. Yeah.
So it's like
Okay.
when you want to, it's like, you like this?
Yeah.
Did you like this because Batwoman? You want to start
You
here.
want a little deeper
and start
dive,
ripping through these.
go
And
here.
you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So,
What would be fun for me, again, I'm all about indexing and access in weird ways, is, let me do something like, okay, I like the White Canary character in Arrowverse, who is, can't remember her name, but now she's Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah.
Sarah Lance.
Right. So Sarah Lance. So I want to see in order a playlist of every Arrowverse episode in which Sarah Lance is featured.
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because you couldn't do it the other way
So
in
he
the
wants
comics
it
because she doesn't
more-
exist in the comics.
Right.
He wants it more like the WWE app.
Yeah.
I want to see everything Macho Man Randy Savage ever did, and then just scroll through matches.
Yeah, I'm not into wrestling, but yeah, it sounds
That's how
like that's what I want.
You can
That's
go
how-
big. I
no,
want to just watch
that's-
Roddy Piper.
They've done a very good job of going into any
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
and being able
And
to
it could get there.
cross-reference.
Well, I think it would be cool, especially, you have the iPad right there, even us with our phone, where you could be watching, say, Justice League War,
Yeah.
the animated movie, and be like, I don't know jack shit about Vandal Savage, and then pull up on your phone and it says, oh, hey, you're watching this. Do you want to also check out this? Like, this is the bookies, and if you want to start
Yeah.
scrolling throughout, like while you're watching the movie or something. So,
Yeah.
like I said, there's growth room, so
Nice.
it looks good. So, everyone having a good September so far?
Yeah, I mean it's amazing that we're as far into it as we are.
I know it's crazy.
Right, it's almost over.
Football season's back.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
We won't talk about that because where we live, people just automatically, if anyone's even listening, will just turn it right off and never come back. So we don't
Yeah.
watch football. We don't have a favorite team, and our favorite team that we don't have has not won 5 Super
Oh,
Bowls.
fuck you. Go Pats.
So
So-
yeah, Yeah, the interesting thing for me for September is kids are back in school. My daughters are, still in elementary school or, just before high school. And the changes in routine, traffic, my commute has gone to utter shit this month. I have spent...
As soon as the school buses hit.
Yeah. It is... I've had in the last week 2 times where my commute was about an hour and 45 minutes, which is half an hour worse than normal, which sucks enough. So far it's just been rough. I'm losing more life to sitting in a car.
Yeah, I don't know about your towns, but my town decided to be an awesome idea to start road construction on all the streets where there's fucking schools the week school started.
Well, they're trying to squeeze in as much as they can before the snow starts.
But you know what? Hey, there's a school right here. Let's start this in July, not the last week of friggin' August.
There's never a good time.
Yeah, which sucks because that dips into nerd time. Luckily for me, the wife drops the daughter off in the morning, and she's gonna have her license soon. So
I'm pretty sure every breathing moment is nerd time for you, DJ.
It is. Chris, you do anything nerdy this month?
Nothing nerdy. We're in that happy lull post-con season.
Yeah.
So you get to recover a little bit. Kicking around as they keep sending out more and more guests that are going to be appearing in Rhode Island.
Oh, I know.
Wondering whether or not I'm going to torture myself and finally make the trek. I've avoided it.
So when is Rhode Island Comic-Con?
First week in November.
Yeah.
November. 4th, 5th, or 6th, or whatever.
Something like
that.
And is that in Providence?
It's at the Dunk in Providence.
So, okay.
The convention center. And do they have it in the arena as well? You've gone.
It's in both halves. It's in the convention center and in the Dunkin' Donuts Center. It's...
Tell us how bad the experience is.
Oh, gosh. It's
Tell us one way or another.
It sucks so bad. So I understand what they're doing. They're trying to, their big thing is A-list marquee names.
Yeah.
They do that
and they do.
better than anybody around
And
here.
they put way too many freaking people in the building and you can't get anywhere.
Yeah, I don't like crowds.
Yeah, I remember one year we went and they had this back wall in the Dunk. So basically it's like if you were at a hockey game, because this is where the Providence Bruins play. Sure. It's from board to board on the ice. And they thought it would be a good crowd control idea to put Stan Lee, and then next to Stan Lee, put Gal Gadot, and next to Gal Gadot, put friggin' Negan from Walking Dead, and then next to Negan, put Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, and next to her do Ray Fisher, Cyborg from Justice League, and then put fucking Val Kilmer at the end. It's a great idea. After 95,000 people shoved onto a hockey rink, and it's just it's too much. It's too much. And I went one year with my brother, and they weren't scanning barcodes on tickets as you went in. They just, okay, you got a ticket, walk in. So people were sending their buddies the freaking QR codes on their phones and shit, and hand the ticket behind them. And got to the point where the fire marshal walked in and was shut this thing down. No one else can go or can come or leave this place. We figure this out. So for 5 hours.
They possibly not
oh my God.
Meter and scan.
It was there was people who had VIP passes for, was it Stan that year? It might have been Stan.
I think Stan was there.
There was a VIP for Stan. It was $600. People were outside and they can't get in to do their Q&A and their autograph session and stuff. And it was just it's rough. Like I said, I know what they're trying to do and I'm not knocking them. It's just, even last year, I didn't go. I put my foot down last year, but I've heard some stories that they had such little room to do because they pack it too much. They did the photo ops outside. November, New England, it can be hit or miss. It was fucking freezing. So I got buddies who have pictures of them and Elijah Wood, and his fucking hands are purple because he's outside in a tent taking photo ops. And they change photo op companies every year, and there's just, I
think they moved to Epic Photo this year.
I think so too.
You guys have sold me on...
So when do you want me to pick you up?
Yeah, because Rosario's there this year. Rosario Dawson's there.
Hey, I love Rosario Dawson.
Kevin Conroy.
I can listen to Kevin and Tara. I can watch Rosario Dawson anytime I want, anywhere I am, from the comfort of my ass.
Kind of guy? LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton? Yeah, I saw he was doing a show in Boston.
Yeah, he's doing a book show. So it's one of those things where I was I told my kid, I was we're not going unless, if they get Linda Carter or something like that, I'll take you. Yeah. But.
Well, and we're still sitting here a month and a half out.
I might go still.
They tend to drop that one big one 4 or 5 weeks out to suck everybody back in.
Yeah.
And there's already some huge names.
Yeah, there's huge ones.
Rosario's a big one for me. Tim Curry's the headliner right now.
Tim's fantastic.
They're pulling him. They have pretty much the entire cast of Smallville.
Yeah.
You got...
Never watched Smallville.
That are not in a federal prison for trafficking small children, but
Just almost
It was a
all
sex
of them.
ring. I mean,
it was no big
they
deal.
were all adults.
Yeah, it's the internet age. No, but they got
Hey, you brand a person. Oh, so.
I know. They got Clark and Lex. That's my. So I want to go to do Rosario, and then my daughter's like, "Well, if you're going, I'm doing Tom Welling," and I'm like,
Why do I know Welling? What's
He's
Smallville, Clark.
Oh, okay.
Smallville.
All right. Yep.
And then my other brother, who doesn't like any nerd stuff, saw that Bam Margera's gonna be there, and
There you
that
go.
was his skateboarding idol growing up. So I'm like, oh, it's gonna turn into a whole goddamn day.
Rooker's back there.
Rooker, yeah.
Perlman's back there. Danny Trejo.
I
All
know.
right.
Yeah,
I'd love
Danny
to
Trejo.
Yeah, I'd love to meet all those guys.
I would love to have like a knife block signed by Danny Trejo,
So that'd be amazing.
or like a cell phone. Can you sign it, Machete?
So-
Don't text.
If you go, is there one that you just have to have?
Rosario.
Yeah.
Like I would go do Rosario, and I'd probably go see O'Halloran.
Oh, so you're gonna, yeah.
Yeah, get a movie shirt signed, and then have the Corks poster signed, and then my daughter would take care of the Smallville guys, and I might.
I may have to go to Marina.
Oh yeah, from Deadpool.
Circus?
Uh,
Oh, no,
Baccarat.
Baccarat.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, going all the way back to Firefly.
Firefly.
but then it gets dangerous because then you start doing stuff like that. Like I would go see Rooker because I have that Emerald City Comic Con Yondu pop to get signed, and I have the Colossus pop to get signed, and Colossus is going to be there, Negasonic's going to be there, and it's like I could.
See, if I go to see Rooker again, I got the poster signed. I'd have to get some kind of. There was a Yondu variant cover. Last year, right around the time of the movie,
Oh yeah,
I did one, and I'd want him to sign it. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all,
Oh, yeah.
just to get something tagged like that.
Yeah, I'd have to do that to
I'd
the
have
pop
to go.
because the pop is the Mary Poppins. He's got the
There you
arrow
go.
and the one
See?
floating. But then again, like I did the count, and I'm like, okay, so if I only hit people that I have toys or posters to sign, like in hand, I'm like, how many can I do out of this list of 75 people? I'm like,
It's
fuck, 49,
it's a big number.
49 of them.
Yeah.
I have toys
It's
of
a big
49
number.
of them.
So it's under debate.
But one thing I did do is one of the smaller ones we have around here is up in Manchester. They do the Granite State Comic Con.
Yep.
Small one put on by a comic shop in New Hampshire. Very small. But years ago, I volunteered to work up there because I was like, I think it was a bye week for the patrons. I'm like, I'm going to go up there and do something, get out of the house for a bit. And I become pretty good friends with the girls, like the coordinator for all the volunteers, my friend Sarah, who's awesome, and my buddy Chris, who's awesome. And I started bringing my kid up there. And she likes to work up there. And she can get all her volunteer hours in for honors, for National Honor Society that weekend. So we bang up almost the whole year in a weekend. And it's funny. We go up on Friday. We all go because I'm like a volunteer lead, and we all go to dinner and stuff like that. And it's good people, good time. So we did that. I usually just get stuck running crowd control and stuff like that, Expo4 and all that. My kid always gets the good jobs. When they did the one in Worcester, she was the artist handler for like Jimmy and Amanda and stuff like that.
Nice.
This one, she started off with me for about 5 minutes, and then he grabbed her, and she was Doug Jones's handler all weekend
Oh, nice.
from Hellboy.
He seems
He's
like
the
a
nicest
really
guy.
nice guy.
Man, and he loved her. It was awesome. So he was really good. Took a bunch of pictures with her. I got some pop signed. I got Abe Sapien and the Fano from Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, I was going to
So
say.
you haven't seen
they
Pan's
have
Labyrinth?
those.
That's a movie and a half right there.
You have?
No, if you haven't seen it, like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
movie,
yeah, yeah.
that movie is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
And then they also had Carol Spiney, who was Big Bird.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And Steve Whitmore, who was took over for Henson for Kermit and Ernie.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
So that was
Kermit
cool.
2.0.
Yep. And then they actually had a guy who he's part of like the New England Pirates League. They do like charity things and stuff like that. He's a good prop builder. He actually brought a Sesame Street set, and he has his own Oscar the Grouch puppet that he made, and it's
Oh, so he was the one doing the photo ops. there.
yeah. I mean, it is.
Okay.
It looks like
It looked legit.
It is legit. Like he used the same fur they used for like everything.
I mean, it looked stellar.
Yeah, it was
The
nice.
pictures are crazy.
To the point where I'm like, how much would it cost if I wanted one of these? He's like, we could figure something out. He's like, mat wise, it's about $380. Time wise, it might be an extra like grand because it's a lot of work.
Jeez.
Because I guess for Oscar,
Yeah.
the fun fur you get, it's like lime green. And then you have to like boil it and dye it and boil it and sun dry it. It's a nightmare. So we did that. It was a fun weekend. Like I said, small con. There were some artist guests that were pretty big there, and not a ton of media guests. They had a lot of the Star Trek Discovery guys that I'm not familiar with.
I still haven't watched that.
Seems like every 2 or 3 years they get like a big name. They'll have one draw there.
Yeah. There was some talk about next year, and if they can pull it off, it's going to be pretty stellar. So, and actually next year they want Athena to,
That's the rumor you told me about, right?
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's
that you
take all my money.
that you accidentally heard me talk about because I didn't actually technically tell
No,
you.
you didn't tell me anything. I didn't hear
But,
it. But
So we'll
You
do
guys
that.
suck.
I'll tell you after the story. But so if my kid's still around, because she goes to college next year, if she's in state, she's gonna go work that and do all the celeb stuff again. But so we did that, and then I'm trying to think, nothing else. Oh, you know what? Chris and I ended up dipping into a indie wrestling show.
We did.
We did. I forgot about
Just
that.
last week. Yeah.
Those words.
So the this indie promotion locally had the NWO guys, which if you know, it's the New World Order. It's
Okay.
Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and X-Pac, who are big in the.
Let's see if we can put it into Sean's terms. In Magic Mike, the really big guy,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
Kevin Nash.
Yeah,
I think it's funny that you think those are Sean's terms. I know
in,
that was a movie.
in John Wick, the big Russian bouncer, they tell us
He
to
hasn't
go
seen
home.
that either.
I've
No,
seen
we saw the
John
first
Wick.
one.
Oh, you saw the first one. Okay.
Before he goes into
That
the
was Kevin Nash.
bathhouse.
Okay.
That was Kevin Nash. He was also he played the Russian in the Punisher movie with Thomas Jane.
Thomas
ever see The
Jane. I
Longest
didn't see
Yard?
that one.
No.
The original Longest
The
Yard?
Adam, yeah, well, of course. The Adam Sandler remake.
Oh, no.
Of which one?
The Longest Yard.
Oh, yeah. He was in
was
Grandma's
in
Boy,
that
too.
too.
You see Grandma's Boy?
He's been doing a bunch of acting
No.
since leaving wrestling.
Yeah. He was Super Shredder in the Secret of the Ooze back in the 90s.
And we're done.
So I've actually had him sign a Super Shredder figure for me once before. You got a kick out of it. But yeah, so we saw him. So Razor and Diesel, we got
So-
done. That was a big deal. And Tito Santana was there too, I think.
That would have been back early 90s? Early to mid 90s. The NWO popped?
NWO, I want to say 96,
Was
97.
it? Okay, so it was mid to late.
Yeah, he did Turtles before I think after the Oz gimmick, before the Vinny Vegas gimmick.
Okay.
Sorry, we're boring Sean with the wrestling talk.
Okay. I don't mind.
But yeah, no, it's
It was a kick in the head. It was revisiting our childhood.
it was. And the biggest thing
For a
is
bit.
I think we both met Nash before. Am I correct? The biggest thing is so all these guys were like best friends in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So this one guy, Scott Hall, who was played a character called Razor Ramon in the WWF back in the day.
Okay.
He's had a lot of problems with like substance abuse and health and stuff like that. So every time he's supposed to come around, he always ends up kind of tapping and never shows up. So the fact that he only shows up when there's all of them, when all his buddies drag him, well, they dragged him this time. So it was like trying to meet Razor Ramon for 30 years. And
Nice.
got to
It was
meet
a
Razor
nice
Ramon.
get.
Yeah, it was a nice get. It was nice. We got a picture, and the lady who was working the line, what a fucking bitch she was. Oh my Christ.
You're not attracting quite the same talent level at an indie show in Lowell that you are at a WWE event.
But it's like, I paid for, we paid to get in. We bought VIP passes.
Yep.
And then I bought secondary autograph packs and a secondary photo
What do you
pack.
got there?
So I had my bags of figures and all my wrestling figures.
Oh, right.
Well, and it wasn't like a ton. I brought 2 for each guy.
Yeah.
Not the biggest deal. It's like if I had 6 pictures, you wouldn't even notice it. But I had a big, reusable Fan Expo bag because I keep them all in these clamshell hard cases.
Right.
So I had been nice to not keep the line moving. I had taken them all out of the clamshells. So the clamshells are stacked in the bag and the figures are like up above it.
Of course.
So I'm like, it's just 2 things a piece. She's like, what happened? I'm like, well, this guy fucking paid like $200. I'm like, be gone. But other than that, and then like we stayed for like one match and we kind of dipped out. But
There wasn't much to see. We saw them walk in the ring and do their
yeah,
2-second promo.
But
and
it was outside of the baseball stadium in Lowell, but the mosquitoes were out, something fierce.
yeah, it was bad.
So we dipped out of that. And that was kind of that's kind of it for like September stuff. Anything else cool happen to anyone? No, anyone maybe catch a old movie you hadn't seen yet or something? Or
No, let me see.
anyone start Iron Fist yet?
I actually
So-
finished stuck in
Season
JFK
2?
the other night. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
So
I
I've
just finished
watched
Lost
the
Channel.
first episode or 2. And
Season 2?
yeah, of season 2. I haven't gotten any further just because I haven't had time to actually sit and watch.
Early
But-
impressions?
I mean, I'm in, right? I've gotten over the initial distaste for the casting, and so far so let me see what's happened in the first couple. So it's mostly about the reappearance of the sister and Ward, so I still don't know what the hell's going on. You got the weird Alice Eve character that
That's Typhoid Mary.
Yeah, it's Typhoid Mary
I don't know who that is.
from Daredevil Land.
Yeah, go.
All right, spoiler jerks.
Well, Daredevil's not in it, I don't think.
No, he's not. But
so I've
Typhoid
read
Mary
the-
is from the 80s
Yeah.
Daredevil run.
Yeah,
All right,
I've.
I figure she's somebody. I just, I'm not
Is she
familiar.
from Man Without Fear? Is that where she? Something like that. I don't know. I'm starting the show. I'm gonna start the show. We're gonna start because that one. The girls don't watch the Netflix stuff. Well, take that back. My wife watches Daredevil. None of them liked Luke Cage, which I love. Jessica Jones, my kids can get into. Defender, she liked, but they like Iron Fist for some reason, so I have to wait for them.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, see, Heather watched every other one.
Yeah, it's the opposite for me. They watch Iron Fist. I don't know.
See,
So we're going to start tomorrow night.
The casting is what killed me in season 1. That and the fact that, and you've heard other people talk about it, it's just too much of the same in season 1. Too much of the family thing. And
it's when Kung Nun's gone. When I want to go to Kung Nun. When Kung Nun.
So I'm interested. I'm looking forward to watching it. I did. Sorry,
no spoilers. I was just going to say they got me right from the beginning of season 2, where it's what you wanted to see out of the character. This isn't spoiling anything for you.
Yep.
It's glowing fist, beat shit up.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
It's like you're getting more of the character.
Yeah, you're the Iron Fist. Will you whip something gas, please? For the
I still don't love Finn Jones.
Yeah, but
I mean, a wet paper towel acts about as well as he does.
Yeah,
but
he's nice.
The rest of the cast is good.
He seems
he was kind of a dick in Connecticut too. So.
Oh really? He was great. For
Henwick was awesome. He was just coming back from a break and pissy that he's Finn Jones.
So yes, I've started that. I did actually finish Krypton.
Oh yeah, how was that?
So I really enjoyed it. I was a little put off or kind of off on it in that I didn't know any of the characters. Obviously, I know Superman and Krypton and the L's and all that stuff, but and the Zods, but for the most part, it wasn't a backstory that I wanted or cared about. But the way it was produced, acted, shot, written, the big bad that they introduced, I thought it was really pretty good. It's like a 10-episode season, so not a big long stretch, and just really well done. And I liked it. So I'd be interested to see what you thought. I mean, at different points, it felt like a bit of a slog in terms of I watch all the DC shows, Arrowverse and Gotham and this, kind of in airing order. I just am slow. And so instead of just watching Krypton straight through, I'm watching it while also watching Supergirl. And, so the tonal shifts are pretty significant, but ultimately I liked it. The only DC show I haven't finished before the new stuff starts is I've got 3 or 4 episodes left of Supergirl. And I think the DC shows start up maybe as early as next week with Black Lightning. And
I'm a whole series behind.
Oh yeah,
whole season.
I think Black Lightning's not in the same universe though.
It's not. But it's not, or at least it hasn't shown to be. But again, I'm just like, okay, I've got my DC playlist, and I go through all the things in their order because I'm stupid.
I still have to finish that.
The fact is, I didn't enjoy Black Lightning season 1. I'm going to watch Black Lightning season 2, but I really didn't like it. It's more out of duty.
I think they need to bring more like C or actually E or F level characters into the show. And
I don't know any of the characters. It just feels like ham-handed crap. It's not.
I don't know, I'm waiting for the CW. I'm waiting for like CW to start doing like an Apache Chief show, like El Dorado or something like that. Really go deep dive. That'd be amazing.
Give Rolanti time.
Yeah. No, I got to catch up. Like the thing with those is I have to watch them with the girls.
Yeah.
And my kid plays, 4 varsity sports now, I think. So the homework senior year is ridiculous. I got to find a time to catch up. So that's gonna be like snow days.
I need to try to
beast through them.
I need to find some stuff to watch with my kids because it's the opposite. I can only watch them alone, which means I watch them in weird spurts.
The girls never got into Supergirl?
So they were a little young when I started watching the various shows, and they've seen some of the episodes, but those were my traveling things to watch. So no.
I'm gonna start Krypton. I might do that one on my own because I don't think they care about that one.
Yeah,
because I want to see. Because if season 2 does bring in a Lobo, I like Lobo a lot. So
yeah, I know who Lobo is and what he looks like, but I don't know jack about him really. So if they do, that will be interesting to me because my vision of Lobo is not completely serious. Meanwhile, Krypton is a deadly serious show.
What I've
this
seen,
is
it is.
not a fun. There is not
This
a
isn't
smile to be
jokey
cracked.
superheroes.
Yeah, this is
There's no giant cellophane S's that they throw on people to.
no, but there's there's plenty of S's and Zod symbols and stuff.
They have other grandparents. Papa Zod.
Yeah, it's Papa's.
I like that.
Yeah, so I'll be interesting to see what you think.
Okay, so let's close it with our FANMEN top 3 for the week. So last episode we did top 3 favorite female heroes. This week we're going to do top 3 favorite male heroes. I decided to split them up because you didn't want to, we didn't pick any girls, whatever. It depends how it lies. And there's too many. We all like too many characters to just do 3. So also we did for this one to keep it diverse. We have eliminated on the Marvel side Wolverine and Spider-Man, who I think might guess be the 2 most popular. If you took 1,000 people and asked them their favorite Marvel superhero, them 2 are comic readers, not movie watchers. Those 2 would pop up the most. And then on the DC side, we discounted the two major ones, Superman and Batman. So anyone besides those 4, you get 3 of them.
3 of them.
Yep.
So for number 3, I am gonna say Plastic Man.
Excellent pull. Excellent pull.
So the reason is, it's a relatively simple one. It's the first comic book character, superhero type comic book character, other than Batman, that I had comics of and remember fondly. His dumbass red costume and, pink plastic legs and goggles or whatever the hell's on his face. I don't remember what issue it was or whatever.
Amazing.
But the seeing it, to this day and certainly back then, he just makes me happy. I don't remember what his actual name is. I don't remember what his backstory is, how he became a stretchy, rubbery dude. None of that stuff. But Plastic Man just always, makes me happy.
That's awesome. That's a
I
good one.
like that. My pull is for a lot of the same reasons. I'm going with the Barry Allen Flash. And that's when I was a kid, that was the main run, even before I got into Batman or some of the other ones. That was the superhero that I was reading with the Rogues Gallery, and no real reason other than nostalgia. Just remembering all those stories right up through. I think we alluded to it on one of the previous episodes, asking if you had any of the volume 1s.
Yep.
If there was a run for me to go back and put together, it would be that original Barry Allen Flash run.
Okay.
So
That works.
I do love Barry Allen too. This was tough for me because, in theory, I want to go all DC characters. But then it's like, there's... I like
took away our top 2.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, no, I mean, I like so many characters. Like, I could have picked Thor, and then I thought I was going to pick Thor for number 3. He was on, the cusp. But then I realized I like the Hammer more than I like Thor. I do. I used to get into Thor when I was a kid. The books were a hard read as a young kid, but I love Norse mythology so much.
Yeah.
But it's the Hammer. I like the Hammer more than him. So for number 3, I'm going Spawn.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. When Spawn came around, when the Image thing started, I was, right in double digits, 11, 12. And I just remember the Image thing just blew up. Because me and all my friends we talked about, we all had the X-Men book, Jim we drew, and all had the McFarlane Spider-Man books and everything like that. And then Spawn came out, and he was gritty, kind of like Batman. Took it a step further because all the hell stuff. He had a really cool backstory. He was like a merc basically, and he got double crossed. So he was a legit badass. But the other thing too is like it was a cultural thing. It's like you had Spawn came out and sold like gangbusters. Spawn number 1. The figures came out, and when McFarlane started doing his figure company, they were unprecedented. They still are. I mean, they still hold some of the stuff he did. Maybe not the first series.
Just a whole level additional detail.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's just not a toy, but like a mini statue.
Yeah, exactly,
that you can
mini
play
statues.
with.
And then when you got into like medieval Spawn or Angel or the Clown, I mean, and some of the other characters he did were just like the Spawn characters were awesome, and I think there's even like some of the bad guys Liefeld helped create, and so the art style was very gripping and epic, and the story was good. Even the movie back in the day was awesome. And then Spawn went to they had the animated series on HBO, which if you haven't watched it, it's out of bounds. It's so good. He was just a very compelling character, and he's cool when he's off the grid. I mean, granted, like I don't have like Spawn t-shirts because they don't make a lot of that stuff anymore. But there's a new movie coming out, so I'm hoping it comes back up. And like I still have like my Spawn #1, and I almost bought a graded one at the hall actually a couple weeks ago because they got one on the wall, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want it. But yeah, so I'm gonna go Spawn.
Interesting. All right, for my number 2. I know what my number 1 is. I'm a good hero. I'll say Captain America. No, you know what? I'm going to withdraw Captain America. I was going to say Captain America.
It was a short run.
Because
the books were boring.
But I enjoyed his anti-Nazi World War II, era. But instead, similar to Plastic Man, I'm going to say Tomahawk. Because
off the reservation, no pun intended.
So
excellent point.
So but it's a personal thing again.
Yeah.
I got a comic from my grandfather when I was probably about 11 or 12 that was a Tomahawk copy that he had from when he was a kid. And I forget, Tomahawk number 63 from 1950 something, or I don't know what it was. Probably older than that. And I don't know why he still had it. It's not like he had a ton of comics. I don't know why he gave it to me. I'm a kid, so he gave me a comic. But so it's just something, it's part of that early, he was, he kind of looked like Daniel Boone wore skins and stuff like that. And, in the issue I had, he was fighting another guy across a campfire surrounded by a bunch of, Native Americans that I didn't call them Native Americans because nobody called them Native Americans at that point. But, that was, and they were talking to each other about which one's the real Tomahawk because I don't know which one it was they were fighting. And since I now have bought myself a very nice copy of it, good quality, and then I have the copy that I have that is red to shit, tattered, has 2 additional staples to replace, that I stapled with a stapler, so it's a piece of crap. I've been tempted to send it off and have both graded so I can display them side by side to just say, hey, this is the old piece of crap. Here's a better one. But so for me, it's a link back to my grandfather. And again, one of my earliest comic experiences, Tomahawk.
That's pretty awesome.
That's tough to follow, dude.
That is. I got nothing even close to that. Like as far as story goes.
No, I have no story for it. I play on my number 2 plays on the nostalgia kick and going back to what you were reading when you were a kid. The first storyline that really captured my imagination, my number 2 is Swamp Thing. And I distinctly remember being 12, 13, whatever it was, when the Alan Moore Swamp Thing run was going through it. And I just fell in love with that character, fell in love with those books. I wasn't as big of a fan of the artwork back then. I liked some of the rights and stuff, or some of the stuff that came later. But the story that Alan Moore put together and pulled you in, the love story between him and Abby, the thought that he is this one character to find out, no, that Alex actually passed away and it's only his essence. I mean, it was the first time that I read a comic book and it read more like an actual book.
Yeah.
It read more like a novel, not just funny pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of always stuck with me.
They were like sci-fi.
Yeah. A lot of that comes down to, for me, Neil Gaiman comes to mind, Alan Moore, the writers who, yes, they were writing comics, but they never treated them as anything other than, Sandman's freaking modern Shakespeare, right?
Yeah, they're like Twilight Zone episodes almost.
Yeah, so great. Yeah, absolutely. Makes great sense.
That's cool. I love Swamp Thing too. He's my brother's number 1. So I was kind of let him he's got that, so I let him always kind of have Swamp Thing, but Swamp Thing is pretty sweet. I think I told the story of him, we actually went to, Universal back when my brother was a kid when he was in the Make-A-Wish. We actually met Dick Durock on the set of the show.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's crazy.
So we watched him film an episode of Swamp Thing. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So number 2, I'm going Dick Grayson.
Great.
So I'm one of the rare people. I like Dick Grayson more than Batman. I don't know why. I think I've said this 9 times now in 4 episodes that when you cut your teeth on like the Adam West Batman stuff, you grew up like I want to.
Oh yeah, you
I
want to
roll
Robin.
Batman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dick Grayson gets to roll Batman, but not only that, it's like once he became Nightwing, especially like not so much prior to New 52, but like when New 52 kicked in,
Yeah.
that Nightwing series is really good.
It was excellent.
And the Rebirth Nightwing stuff is really good, and the Grayson miniseries
I was going to ask.
is fucking stellar.
I randomly read Grayson.
It's so good.
Sometime about a year ago, and I have that run of issues, and just as a standalone, spy tech. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, he's like Ethan Hunt almost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very much so. That's a good.
he is. Yeah.
Yep.
And like I said, I like Nightwing so much to the point where actually I have a PlayStation VR.
Mhm.
So it's going to be a spoiler thing if anyone has a PlayStation VR, but they did a Batman game for VR.
How was that?
I don't know, because I only played it for about 3 minutes and I threw my fucking VR almost in the trash. Because what is this Batman? You start off your Batman in the Batcave, and Batman turns on his pager and no one's getting back to him. He's like, why isn't like Damien and everyone getting back to me? I'm going to go check on him. I see Dick's over here. I'm going to go check on Dick. And there's Dick Grayson dead in the fucking alley with his neck snapped. So I went, you know what? Fuck this game. And I pulled out the PlayStation and winged it across.
What?
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, some guy he goes through the fight and like some guy managed to get behind Dick Grayson and snap his neck. Bullshit.
And that's the basis for the game?
That's the start of the game. I don't even know who else is dead. They might all be dead. I threw the game in the trash.
Now, see, the start of that immediately made me think of the Snyder Capullo run,
Yeah.
where it's,
Right.
what,
Yeah.
Death in the Family?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't remember what it is, but it's... I
nobody's
think
getting
it's
back to
death-
him.
Yeah.
Death
Is that
of
Death
the
of the
Family.
Family?
Death
Not
of
in
the
the
Family,
family.
yeah.
Death in the Family.
That's
was
what it
really-
sounded like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but when you were
didn't go
describing it,
there.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way this guy was
did it
faster
end at
than
the
Dick
dinner
Grayson.
table?
Yeah, because like I said, like
Sitting
with
around.
Batgirl, I like the faster characters. I don't know why. Probably because I was a fat kid. I couldn't move very fast. But the fact that you could like do a triple handspring and then spin kick a guy in the face and knock him out, it's always a piece to me. And I like the batons. The batons are cool. And the original Nightwing outfit was lame, but the new one's cool. And
How dare you rag on Perez?
I'm not. It wasn't functional. It was like,
It was very 80s. And
I mean,
that collar was amazing.
dude, he looked like Prince in Purple Rain with a Federale
Hell
belt around.
yes.
So it's like, but yeah,
Bitch, you got Starfire.
I know that's true. That's true. That's the thing too. And he gets Starfire. So.
Corey.
So that's a good get. So yeah, so I'm going Dick Grayson number 2, whether you want to call him Nightwing or Robin or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
but
Batman.
Dick Grayson, sure. Nice. So for me, number 1, a little closer, a little less nostalgic. Damian Wayne. So I'm a little out of date on what's been going on with the character, but when I started actively reading again, not just collecting but reading, it was kind of in the New 52 era, and I don't remember exactly which issue it was. It might have been in Batman Incorporated, which kind of predated New 52 and then restarted or something like that. But
Yeah.
but basically this, Batman discovers that, Talia's basically taken his DNA and they've had a son, and she's raised him in League of Assassins to be a little monster, frickin',
He is a shithead.
a shithead. And so a lot of, I guess it was in the Batman and Robin series, so it wasn't Batman or Detective, but Batman and Robin was about Damian being Robin, and it's a father-son story, but it's a father getting to know a son he didn't know he had, a son that's had a really monstrously messed up childhood and trying to learn, one of the fundamental Batman, tenets of, killing is really not what we should be doing. And he's been raised to kill as a child. And that entire Batman and Robin series and some of the ancillary books leading up to, I think it was issue 18 in Batman Incorporated where he gets killed. And, the reason it sticks out to me is because it touches on one of my favorite all-time single-issue comic books, Batman and Robin, Volume 2, number 18, which is, It says Requiem on the title issue, so it's one of a number of Requiem tie-ins in a number of series that are after Damian Wayne is killed. And it's I call it the silent issue. There's no dialogue in it. It's primarily Bruce Wayne and Batman and Alfred in an empty Wayne Manor after freaking Damian, this son that he didn't know he had, that he's now been with and becoming a partner with and teaching and mentoring, is now dead. And it's just these two men mourning in their own different ways, moping in their own ways. Batman going out kicking ass because he's just, torn up. And then he finds a letter from Damian, basically thanking him for teaching him not to kill. I mean, just it freaking is heart-wrenching. And it's such a perfect example of, I mean, I know Damian's the hero I'm talking about, but the reason is because it ties into this issue of all the emotion that is conveyed in these panels and very few words, except that a letter that is written in the thing is earned by this character's arc over not that many issues of comic, not that many months.
He wasn't around for very long before they killed him.
Yeah. And, of course, it's comics. So he comes back later on, and there was an interesting, the Damian Son of Batman run, and I read a good chunk of that.
Wasn't bad.
I forget where he is right now, but that's my number one for right now.
With the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. He's essentially Dick Grayson for the new Teen Titans.
Yeah. That's a cool one, because, I
also really like I don't know whether it's Frank Quietly who said his look, or whether there's a particular look of Damian Wayne, the way he's drawn and stuff, that it just
Quietly he's done a couple different.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, that's a cool one, because I'm not gonna lie, when Damian Wayne first came out, I hated him. I couldn't stand him.
Yeah,
couldn't stand him. But then, like you said, like you kind of realize he's more than just the new Robin. He's like a dynamic that kind of ties all these books together.
And he also ends up with some powers and some interesting stuff in the Resurrection.
Yeah, And I guess he's still like my least favorite Robin.
That's okay.
Actually, not. But I mean.
Yeah. I didn't say Robin. I said Damian.
No, exactly. No, exactly. No, I'm saying.
character.
But I think he kind of like if you watch all the animated movies, he starts to grow on you.
Oh, he's
because
in this? To watch?
The voice. I figured it was the voice for him. The voice is real good. Like the acting's real good on the voice, and the kid can scrap. So he's got some awesome. Like when you see him like in motion, you're like, oh, this kid can roll. He's balling. So
nice,
excellent. That's a good get.
All right, my number one is. I actually kind of picked one from each of the major companies. Okay. And I'm kind of backdooring my Batman fandom here for some of the same reasons that I like. There's certain characters that I'm just drawn to because for whatever reason they seem more grounded. Like I can just get my head around certain things. It's very hard to get your head around an alien that just came down from the heavens and is all powerful.
Maybe for you.
The Christ narrative just kind of throws me. But the super rich guy that can make himself into a superhero. So, and since you took 1A off the board, you're kind of going to 1B and 1C. And two of my favorite characters, Iron Man and Green Arrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, for different reasons, I can get my head around the super smart, super rich guy that can build himself a suit. Yeah. That's grounded in
it's
sort of reality.
Plausible, relatable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not as obscene as in Alien or Toxic Avenger.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Arrow's a little bit more of a stretch in that.
And you can easily yourself fantasize about, well, if I had his money, I'd be in better shape than I am right now. If I had his money
to do the workout.
And I had, So I mean, there's
build all these wonderful toys.
Yeah, you can fantasize right into that entity.
I guess, are we talking Green Arrow with a shirt on, with the shirt off?
We're not talking like
CW Green. Yeah.
No, we're talking OG Ollie,
feather and cap,
goatee down. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
We're talking.
If it's not salmon ladder,
salmon ladder, Green Arrow.
No, there's no salmon ladder. And for very different reasons too. I mean, the guy in the suit can fight much different villains than the guy with the bow and arrow.
Yeah,
but they always wrote the characters that way too. Mm-hmm. Green Arrow was fighting more of your not as. If you remove him from the Justice League, he's fighting more of your street level.
Yeah.
Thugs. Mm-hmm. He's Daredevil with a bow and arrow. He's cleaning up the streets of, it's so I can only, it's more, I think those characters are a little more grounded for me, which kind of drew them to me a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's, So I think that's that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense for you as well. Those. It's still.
It's got to be the accountant in me.
It is the accountant in you, but it's also cheating, Chris, because it's basically Batman, and
Okay, you're not telling me what to do.
No, nothing wrong with that.
I warned you right before I started talking.
I mean, if we did,
Backdoored
No,
Batman.
I'm jealous of your backdooring Batman.
I decided to take Batman off the table because I figured, my guess would be we'd all have Batman number 1.
Of course,
And I'd probably have Superman number 2 or 3. So it's like it would have been boring.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, that's cool. So who's your number 1?
No,
Other than Batman?
yeah. What about? So it was. Well, like I said, actually, Batman would have been 3 because Dick Grayson I like more than Batman.
You're dead to me, TJ.
It's just a thing. But it's tough because he says Iron Man, which I like Iron Man a lot. But I'm thinking when I used to read the books, I didn't have that much attachment to Iron Man because I didn't understand Demon in a Bottle at the age of 11.
And honestly, most of the time, Iron Man to me in the comics was the 70s and 80s guy in the suit. It was rarely Tony Stark. It was Iron Man.
It was Shellhead.
Exactly.
And I remember the Iron Man cartoon, and I used to like Captain America a lot because I'm a big I'm from Boston. Everything's red, white, and blue. Football team, baseball team, and I like Captain America. But as I was thinking about the list, it's weird because I used to read the Thor books as a kid, like I said, which were not an easy read. And I used to read Captain America and some Avengers stuff, but it's almost impossible for me now in my head to say, oh yeah, Iron Man's my favorite, or Captain America's my favorite, and be able to separate the movie version from the comic version in my head.
Yeah.
I can't do it because Iron Man on paper as a kid was like, nah, whatever. But Iron Man in the movies is a whole other world.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to separate
it's gotta
why I like them.
It has to be the age thing too, because
It could be.
when they cast Robert Downey Jr., I immediately went to Demon in a Bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah, me
oh
too.
my god,
Oh, me
this
too.
is
Because that's
this is
Robert Downey
Tony
Jr.
Stark.
Yeah.
This is ideal.
I did too.
Yeah.
There was ever a guy that was going to fall on his face and lose everything.
Yeah, the story's good now when I read it, but when I was reading it when I was like 11 or 12, I didn't really get it. So, and I do like the Green Arrow.
You weren't, unlike Chris and myself, drinking at that time. So
That is true. That is true.
That decade in between kind of skews things.
I did not drink until I was 21, or flip that. Either way. So, and Green Arrow is probably top 7 for me, but my number 1 is Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
Yeah.
So I always had an attraction to the Green Lantern stuff. I could never figure out why, but kind of like you said, the guy he has powers. He's got the ring, but all the ring does is enhance the fact that his best power is the human imagination. Yeah. And
it's pretty good.
I'm not saying I could be a Green Lantern, but
if there were a ring that could give you those powers, you could be DJ.
I could make little tiny light Funko Pops all over the place. No, but
Sorry.
That is the lamest use imagined for
I am going to make plastic toys.
make more toys. No, it's just,
So essentially you became Taiwan.
Yes. No, it's just something about that just seemed like, the reason that he became the greatest Green Lantern is because humans have the best imagination. Other species couldn't think up the stuff he came up with. And it has nothing to do with the movie version because even though I liked the movie was not good.
I never saw it.
You're not missing much. It was bad.
But okay, that's a perfect. I'm glad you touched on that. But you liked it.
I do because I like Ryan Reynolds.
See, I love Ryan Reynolds.
I love
That's
Batfleck.
partly why
Me too.
There's
Batfleck's my
parts-
favorite.
As much as people shit on that Justice League movie, there's
Which I
parts
have
of it I
not
really
seen.
like.
I know.
You've seen Batman v Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
I
like
liked Affleck in,
Batfleck is my favorite.
and you gave me a
movie
few of the
Batman.
images right off the page, and I liked him.
Bat-
as
He's
Batman
my
a lot.
favorite movie Batman.
By far.
That
Completely.
what is it? Probably a minute and 45 seconds of Batman in the warehouse.
Oh, yeah, yes.
It's
Yes.
probably out of
It's one of the
not
greatest.
just DC,
Yeah.
both the comic universes. It's
Yeah.
the best 2 minutes out of any of the movies. Period.
It's Batman doing the shit
Batman
I
being
grew up
Batman.
imagining in my head when I'm looking at the comics. Yeah.
But it's
Exactly.
like they took Batman from the comics and melded it with the video game version.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very Arkham.
Grappling. Yeah.
Very Arkham.
But I didn't play a whole lot of the video games.
Oh my God, they were my religion
They were
when those came out.
Yeah. So the whole thing, even though it's weird too, because I remember the first Green Lantern books I read were reprints of the old Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, he's got a magic thing and a red shirt and a cape, and he's allergic to wood. It's like that's awesome. Yay, Alan Scott. But then I got into the Hal Jordan stuff, and especially the Green Lantern, Green Arrow books. Those were phenomenal. And when when you got into New 52, and not so much Blackest Night because I don't do zombies, but I understand where they're going with it, and the whole space
Wasn't
cop
bad.
stuff. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know, something about Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, like, I remember the first thing.
And that's another flawed individual.
It is. Yeah, 'cause he was an
Far
asshole.
from the perfect person.
Yeah.
Greatness thrust upon him.
That's why I like Batman, at least as I've experienced him. Right, he wasn't always a flawed individual in the comics, but in my life and certainly adult life, he is. That's one reason I've never quite jive with Superman. I mean, I love Superman as an icon, as a
Symbol.
part of the pantheon.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's unrelatable. Now that actually kind of makes sense for but he's not relatable because he's not. Everybody's a flawed person, right?
Yeah.
Seeing that written and expressed in someone is
That's
a
true.
little easier to deal with.
Well, it's tough. They never really show Superman as that flawed individual. How many moments of doubt have you seen in the entire history?
Except for Superman 2 when he goes in the crystal and loses his powers or whatever.
Was that before the Niagara Falls hot
was-
tub scene? Or
That was Niagara Falls.
yeah,
I haven't watched those
It's
since they were in the theaters. Honestly, you know
it's
what?
good stuff.
I don't think I have seen them outside theaters.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just one of those things like Superman was an alien, so that was never going to happen. Batman
Yeah.
did too much cardio for me, so that was going to happen. But this guy has to think of stuff to get out of jams, and I could do that because.
Yeah.
So I just. And
Yeah, that's good.
the costume's awesome, and I remember I taught my kid the little thing. So we used to have the tiki torches in the backyard on the lake with the green tiki torch fuel in it. And I used to make her say the lantern recharge.
brightest day in Bucks.
And I always try to escape my sight. Behold my power. She's supposed to be 6 years old. Behold my power, Green Lantern.
Lantern,
Light the tiki torch. Goes to the next one. I'm like,
Has the kid asked you for a lantern yet?
we have one.
Harley's begged me for one. I haven't.
We have the not the newest one. The newer one's a lot smaller. We have the original cold cast porcelain lantern, and I got the movie one too. So it's good stuff. Okay, so Sean had Plastic Man,
Tomahawk, Damian Wayne.
I had. Who am I? I almost forgot.
Maybe we
Still
should
doesn't
start.
remember my three.
Maybe we actually should start writing shit down.
Probably should start writing shit down. No, it's late. We're doing this late at night, so.
And we're old, so we can't remember anything.
We can't remember.
Since
anything.
DJ can't remember who his characters are, I
Yeah.
had Flash, Swamp Thing, and then totally cheated with my backdoor Batman of
Iron Man.
Iron Man and Green Arrow.
That's cool. I had
great.
my number one was Green Lantern. My number two was Dick Grayson, and my number three was Spawn.
There you go.
So yeah, it's been a long week. So, Sean, thank you everyone for joining us. If you want to hit us up on Twitter, at FMen37 or at Deidrenaut.
At Chris Davis _37.
At Vacaboca, VACABOCA.
This will be the last episode where Sean has to spell his Twitter handle. We'll just start putting it up.
We're
on
just
the
going to get him
feed,
a new name.
Yeah, we're giving him a new name. It's gonna be
Yeah.
at Sean.
As long as it's not at FMen37.
It's
At Batchlong37.
Yeah.
Strong 37. I'm pretty sure
it's
that's
the one
taken.
I typed in
Yeah.
FANMEN podcast, and that's what Twitter gave me.
Hey,
It's the craziest thing. So
It was meant to be.
it was meant to be. So, all right. Well, we'll talk to everyone.
Right
Have a
on.
good one.
Have a good one. Bye.